The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. The youth in the ECOWAS Parliament want to talk about protocols and sanctions. But Guy Marius Sagna just brought the cold hard truth to the floor. While the West is screaming about democracy and human rights, which we know the African never has any right, and that is why we cannot be given a permanent seat at the UN, Sagna is sounding the alarm for every nation from Senegal to Ivory Coast. According to him, if they allow the alliance of AES to be isolated, they are signing the death warrant for the entire sub-region. Now, what is happening in Mali is not just a Malian issue or a Burkinabe problem. That it is a battle for the very soul of West Africa. And the better they do something, the better for them all. We have to look at the history of how they try to break us. For decades, the strategy has been to isolate any leader who dares to speak of sovereignty. Today, they are using a dual-track weapon to target the AES. On one track, you have the regional puppet in ECOWAS imposing illegal sanctions to starve our people. On the other track, you have the NGOs industry, a civilian wing of foreign influence designed to rot our nation from the inside out.
We simply cannot watch Mali fall. If Mali falls, we will certainly be the next ones in line. We must not wish for Mali to fall just so we can say afterwards, it serves them exactly right, they shouldn't have left. We must mobilize, we must stand up and fight, and we must save West Africa. Because what is happening in Mali right now is what poses a direct threat to every single one of us together. Thank you.
On May 8, 2026, before the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja, Senegalese MP Guy Marius Sagna spoke in support of the Republic of Mali. His intervention, brief but incisive, highlighted what he considers a black hole in the regional discourse: sovereignty. According to Senegalese MP Guy Marius Sagna, this is a word that official documents of the institution never contain, that its representatives never utter. And this silence, the MP insists, is anything but accidental, because ECOWAS, far from seeking to strengthen the real independence of its member states, would instead be working to keep West Africa under all forms of imperialism. By defending Mali, Guy Marius Sagna denounced an organization that, under the guise of cooperation, continues to serve the same interest over and over again: dependence. Let's listen to his speech in its entirety.
I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you, Madam President of the ECOWAS Parliament. I also want to thank the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Ali Outouré, for providing us with this exceptionally insightful and brilliant presentation. Even though, as we have all been very clearly informed, the actual full report is not yet available to us at this time, you still made a very significant effort to send us this important document. Madam President, I often listen very closely to the words of Dr. Ali Outouré, who is truly an excellent expert and has certainly done his absolute best in his professional role as the head of the ECOWAS Commission. But every single time I listen to him, there is a certain symptomatic quality which is not unique to him alone, but rather it is almost universal at the level of ECOWAS, and it is something that we are currently lacking. And as long as this continues, as long as the current situation remains as it is, our ECOWAS, despite all human efforts and dedication, will not make any significant progress. There is one word I never hear at the level of ECOWAS: sovereignty. I hear all the other words. I am reading all the documents, as many ECOWAS documents as possible. There is one specific word that you will almost never see mentioned: territorial sovereignty. Recently, Donald Trump from the United States famously suggested that he was going to annex the island of Greenland. You saw all the various European leaders respond. I will quote someone like Emmanuel Macron. He said, "The current situation in Greenland is a loud wake-up call for Europe's necessary strategic awakening." And all the European leaders are saying, it's time for us to be sovereign, to no longer depend on the United States. strategic awakening. We never talk about sovereignty. It's as if we are still not in a strategic awakening, but in a very deep strategic slumber. As long as we avoid internal conflict and work together, to be truly sovereign in terms of our own security, so that we no longer rely on France, the United States, or any other foreign nation to bomb terrorists. To achieve complete health sovereignty, to rely on no outside nations to care for our people, to provide nutritious food for our people, and to offer a quality education to all our people. Sometimes our national education budgets are lower than the total amount what some parents spend to enroll their children in foreign universities. As long as we don't take matters into our own hands, if Europeans talk about a strategic awakening and strategic sovereignty, what should we be talking about? We're not even talking about it. It's as if we're carefully avoiding this question. I think it's time for West Africa to talk about sovereignty. ECOWAS talks about sovereignty. As long as we don't talk about sovereignty, we will always be among the 40 or 50 poorest countries on the planet, because that's also our situation, and it doesn't just fall from the sky. Madam President, here or in the Commission, there are people who do not like each other. There are people who do not speak to each other. But I am convinced that when one of us falls, all the others will go and help them up. We must not watch Mali fall. If Mali falls, we will certainly be the next ones in line. We must not wish for Mali to fall just so we can say afterwards, it serves them exactly right, they shouldn't have left. We must mobilize our forces, we must fight, and we must save West Africa, because what is happening in Mali is what threatens every single one of us together.
Look at the mechanics of the truck. Between April and May 2026, Captain Ibrahim Traoré dissolved over 600 NGOs in Burkina Faso. Why? Because these are the imperialist laboratories. They claim to be non-governmental, but their heart is a wire transferred from Washington, Paris, or Brussels. They are paid to find failures and then excesses to report back to their masters. They ignore the Tigrus burning our villages, but the moment a revolutionary leader defends his land, they have a report ready to go. This is a closed loop of colonialism. The NGOs create a report. Western media broadcast that report to the world to create a public outcry. Then, the Western government used that manufactured outcry to justify the sanctions that ECO is all out too happy to enforce. It is a perfect circle of betrayal. They fund the accusation, they publish the accusation, and then they play the judge over our economy. As the elders say, the fox may change its hair, but never its tricks. Guy Marius Sagna made it clear, the stability of the entire region depends on the stability of the Sahel. The borders we inherited are lines in the sand. If the fire consumes Mali, consumes Burkina Faso and Niger, that fire will not stop at the border. It will sweep through Senegal, through Ivory Coast, and through every nation that sat silently while brothers were being strangled. These 3,000 organizations in Niger and 1,000 in Burkina Faso were not there to build refineries. They were there to monitor our movement and manage our misery. So this man is sending a strong message to the leaders. That is, either they come together as a people to fight, the better for us all. Because ever since these things started in Mali, we have seen how Pan-Africans, all these leaders in ECOWAS nations, carrying themselves as the true Pan-Africans who are here to save Africa, acted. All of them are acting in silence, just the way the oppressor does. And Sagna is telling them, if you think this is only for Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, you need to wake up. Because the African believe that whatever that is happening to my brother, as long as you decide to disobey and you want to be the protector of the people, whatever punishment that comes upon you suits you. They smile over their brother's pain. Guy is telling them, you better wake up from this dream, from this illusion that what we are seeing happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is only their problem. If only you know the danger. He went ahead to tell them, look at these people who are fighting to gain their independence from the United States of America. It's about sovereignty. What are you sitting here doing as an African? And you wouldn't fight for your own sovereignty. You want us to continue to be puppets. We want to continue to kneel, to dance, to take orders in this modern world when the world has changed. For how long will we continue this way? The same people who are imposing sanctions, making sure we never move, are the ones you want to protect instead of protecting your people. We need to wake up. And I think this is the time the leaders in Africa, and not only the leaders, but we the youth as well, wake up. Because sometimes when you hear some of the youth, they think that what is happening in Mali, Niger is only their problem because they have democracy. You have oppression, not democracy. Because Guy Mari said what we are seeing in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is fighting for total liberation and sovereignty, just like the EU is doing. So why not join them, sort of us folding our arms, watching them? The time of slavery should be a thing of the past. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, in Senegal.